Vikings were black.
Of course they were.
White people. The Vikings were not blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. The people in Sweden now were not the people in Sweden during the time of those events. They were dark-fleshed, woolly-haired people. They were all black people.
Of course they were. But let's see your evidence.
But if you hadn't have lied about this, then we would know this. I want y'all to pause to read that.
Okay, let's pause and read that. Totally unbiased website called The Africans in Diaspora reports. The original Vikings were black. This is clear in the Ozenberg 8th century Vikings on the Norway sledge carving. Now let's see this sledge carving that makes it so clear. You ready? I promise you I will use the same picture they used in their article. Here it is. Yes, you see it right. They took the carvings on black wood and used it as a proof that Vikings were black-skinned. Because it's in black wood. The whole website, the Africans in Diaspora, reported that Vikings were black because they seen black wood carvings and thought, yes, that must be photorealistic. This is their proof. I kid you not, this is their whole proof. But let's see the video further.
This book is called Nature Knows No Color Line, and you can read that above because it's all valuable information, but we're going to focus on what's below. Let me break that down to you. When y'all were trying to break down the fact that y'all were scientifically superior to black people, but you would literally create your own statues, go back and bury them where you found these Negroid statues, and then dig those statues up several years later and present it to the world as a new discovery, all in the while discrediting the Negroid statues you found there.
Now this one is interesting. Do you know what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and a normal theory? Normal theory can be disproven. Conspiracy theory cannot be disproven by definition. For example, this guy is saying that Vikings are black. We can show him Vikings artifacts that depict them as white. If this was a normal scientific theory, our archaeological findings will disprove it. But since it's a conspiracy theory, it only proves it further. Of course we found these artifacts. They were planted there by evil white people. After that, we might ask, of course, where are artifacts that depict Vikings as black? And he will say that, of course there isn't any, because they were destroyed by evil white people. We might refer medieval drawings of Vikings that depicted them as white, and he will say, of course they depict them as white. This is all a conspiracy of evil white people. We might even reference osteological research that checked the DNA of all bodies unburied in Scandinavia and dated to the era when Vikings existed, that found not a single individual with sub-Saharan ancestry. But this will just further prove the conspiracy of evil white people to this guy. So what source can we trust? The Africans in Diaspora website that confuses black wood with black skin, book Nature Knows No Color Line that provides zero evidence, and of course the TikTok creator Kenny Mac, who gets these valuable theories right out of his underprivileged buttocks. And look at the comments under this video. Ate them up quick. They don't know their history but try to tell us ours. Wow, I never knew this, thank you. I didn't know, I learned so much from you. Continue to spread the truth no matter how mad anyone gets. These people just got a history lesson on TikTok from a dude in a wife beater and achieved the level of smugness that cannot be replicated by a person with 3 digits IQ. I'm telling you, this feels like we live in an idiocracy movie. People don't know how to do basic research, believe everything they hear, and report photos of blackwood carvings like it's a scientific discovery. And then these people will tell you in the comments to do your research.
And guess what? The gladiators were also black.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Black people. Black people, you were still ruling in parts of Europe as late as the 1800s in the peak of slavery. Also in Germany and Russia, you were in positions of power.
So this guy is saying that Russian people were black. I happen to be Russian, so what up, my Sputnik? But in all seriousness, this creator is correct. By accident, of course, but still correct. Russia actually had a black man in the position of power in 18th century. His name was Abram Petrovich Gannibal, or Abraham Hannibal. His origins are unknown, but it's speculated to be Cameroon, Ethiopia, or Eritrea. He was brought to Russia as a kid and was baptized in Orthodoxy personally by the Emperor Peter the Great. He became a nobleman, an engineer, and a general. Now this creator insists in his videos that we don't know about black historical figures in Europe because all evidence was destroyed. Here's one of his quotes on the matter.
Basically, they're saying that any history that contradicts what they've taught us should be destroyed.
Now this is completely false. The figure of Abram Gannibal is incredibly popular, and this portrait of his is publicly shown in Pushkin's museum in St. Petersburg. Remember this name, by the way, you're gonna need it later. For comparison, here's the portraits of people from this era. You can clearly see that he was depicted as a black man and other people were depicted as white. Now, why the name Pushkin is important? Because he is the direct descendant of Abram Ganibal and also happens to be the most popular and the most important Russian poet of all time. And one of his books was actually the biography of his great ancestor and was called The More of Peter the Great. You see how he addresses his great-grandfather as simply the More. It is because Russia didn't have black people, so when you say the More, everybody understands who are you talking about. Because Russians are white, and seeing a black person is a unique occasion for us that we're actually proud of. So if this creator would say that Russia had black people in the positions of power in 18th century, I would completely agree with him. But unfortunately, that is not what he's saying.
Remember, this was all done for clout, black people. Go look up Russian icons. Go look up Russian iconoclasm in the Renaissance. I'm gonna sound like a broken record with the way I'm saying that. Why?
He is referring to orthodoxal icons on which Jesus Christ and other saints sometimes appear to be black. Let's Google it in English. Why Orthodox icons are black? And the first link is a conspiracy theory about Eastern Christianity not whitewashing Jesus. In American internet, you can even find Vladimir Putin showing the world the black Jesus. Fun, but let's try to ask actual orthodoxal people, since I'm blessed with this privilege. Почему православные иконы черные? Boom! The article from the actual orthodoxal icon painter with the very boring name, Why Faces on Old Icons Go Black. In this article, he is scrupulously describing what paint you should use in order to prevent exactly that. Because, as surprising as it might sound to a Westerner, old paint has a tendency to go dark over time, especially in places devoid of light, like Orthodoxal churches. So, as fun as another racially motivated conspiracy theory might sound, professional icon painters know that it's simply a boring technical issue. So, dear Kenny Mac9, as a Russian, I am deeply flattered by your desire to be one of us. I can give you any Russian word pass you want. Russia had ties with Africa since Peter the Great. We continued our relations with your people during Soviet Union, and that's exactly how I was blessed with an opportunity to live in Africa 10 years ago. We love black people. But you know who we respect? Confident people. People who are comfortable with who they are. So instead of looking for your heritage all over the Europe, please address your flaming gaze to your home continent that has a rich history, beautiful culture, and best people I had pleasure of knowing. Sincerely yours, Russian brother. Thanks for watching this video.